everyone. Good morning. It's me again, Arlene. And in today's vlog, I will be discussing what are the different businesses that you can start in Philippines. Some of you are actually overseas Filipinos who plan to go back to Philippines, or some of you are actually foreign retirees who are already here in the country. And at some point, you might be thinking, what good business can I start while I am in the Philippines? Um, it would really depend on one thing, which is where you are at, because you must have a ready market. I know most of you have already perhaps started businesses in the past, or you've worked for some company, so I don't have to really elaborate on that. So I'll just tell you how to start a business which is specifically having the Filipino market in mind. Um, if you want to start a business in Philippines, the first thing that you would want to do is to get permits. So if it's just a small business that doesn't have regulatory constraints, the first thing that you would ask and apply for is the barangay permit, business permit. So you can get this, you can get this, you can ask your spouse, if your spouse is Filipino, where can I get the barangay business permit? And you can start from there. You don't even have to go to the municipal or the city. You can do that later. So you just start first with the barangay business permit, and then you can do the city business permit later on. So this is just for small businesses, or like the micro businesses that you can start in your neighborhood. So examples of these would be like grocery stores, laundry shops, um, money remittance, but like the small scale money remittance, bakery. So you must always have a good market for it. So I don't have to tell you about it. I'm sure that you know that if you're starting a business, you must always have good foot traffic for the location of your business, whatever it is. Because even if you have a very good like food whatever, like a shop, if nobody passes through that, then you're gonna have very few customers. So it pays to invest in a good location, whether you rent it or you buy that location, for as long as there's good traffic. So some of one of the most successful line of business that you can, perhaps the most successful line of business that you can start in the Philippines would be food, because that's like the basic and the basic necessity of everyone. And your normal convenience store or grocery store is like, it can be anything, because if you have one store like convenience store, grocery store, you can put food there, because that's the line of business of my family. And you can put everything there. You can put food, you can put bread, you can put bakery, you can put medicine, because here in the Philippines you don't have to like have a special like pharmacy license to sell medicines. So I know it's surprising, right? First off, the exception is if you're selling antibiotics, then you have to ask like prescription from the buyer. But other than that, you can still sell medicines even in a grocery store, and it doesn't have to be like a separate standalone pharmacy. You can also sell like poultry supply, you can sell liquefied petroleum gas, kerosene tanks, you can sell prepaid cards, you could sell like almost anything in a typical grocery store in the Philippines without needing a separate license for it. So except when you're doing like money remittance alongside your grocery store, then you have to register with like a regulatory body, which is like you have to attend, you have to register with the provider. So it could be like, for in our case, we have to register with Globe Cash and Smart Money, because they're the one that facilitates the remittance locally of uh, of the money between like somebody from one place sending money to another place within Philippines. So we have to register with them. we have to have like permit from Bangko Sentral of ng Pilipinas, which is like the central bank. They make it more complicated now, unlike before, because of the money laundering issues. Uh, and we have to report it, but other than that, the profit on it is really good. And also, one business which has good profit potential is when you sell like LPG and kerosene tanks, which is what normal households use for cooking, because you earn per tank, and everyone needs to cook. So you can put like a premium profit per tank. So those are two good investments. Also, one good investment would be laundry shop, because they pay per kilo, and there's not much labor involved. So, and then of course bakery is also a very good business, because everyone eats bread, and you can customize, you can produce cake as well, especially when there's special occasions like Christmas, New Year, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. I mean, in Philippines, there's always a holiday per month for some reason. We're perhaps the most holiday laden nationality and citizens on earth. So there's always a special occasion. So bakery will always be a good business. So um, you can sell a lot of things in a typical grocery store for as long as you have the capital to stock it and to sell it in a ready market. You can always expand the business. So that's the beauty of your local grocery community shop. You can expand a lot of services in just one roof, which is what my family is doing. One more bit, and then if you've got more people, you can open another branch. But of course, that requires having people who you trust money with, especially if you're doing the money remittance business. So it requires people that you can trust in any business. But the good thing about the typical grocery and family store is it's always positive cash flow. It doesn't require you to pay a franchise fee. Uh, you can just rent the commercial space. You don't have to buy the space outright, because I'm sure there will be lots of options for you to choose from. But always choose the location with lots of people. And I assure you, if you've got good foot traffic, you will always find yourself on the profitable side, because that's the business that my family is in, and it sent all of us to college. My parents doesn't have to work overseas, and it's enough to supply all of the family's needs. So it's a good business. You can, and of course, if the money is rolling in, you can just always expand, and add on as capital to the business, whatever money you're making every month. So it's one good business. So just what you have to really scout for is location. So find a good location. That's really number one. And then once you have a good location, find people that you can trust, and you can never go wrong. And another good business that you can start is, if you are into franchising and you don't know the system too much, you want to automate the business, or you don't know how to run a business, then maybe franchising is for you. And it also depends on what business you want to franchise, because in Philippines there are a lot of businesses that you can franchise, but to be honest, a lot of it also are food businesses. So the thing with franchising is there's already a system in place, and all you have to do is follow the system, have the enough required capital to buy the franchise. Usually the franchise would be like for several years, 1 to 3 years, 1 to 5 years, and then you renew it with a brand. And most of it will be in food. Some would be in like gasoline stations as well. There are different franchises. Some are like repair, or some are like car shops. So they come in different flavors. Some are education oriented franchises. So you can always find your line, and For example, if your line is in education, then maybe you'll be interested in an educational franchise. And I've found a lot of resources in the internet, and a lot of them will tell you how much capital you need and then the numbers that you have to call. So I'll be putting the link here in the YouTube channel, my channel, on where you can find like a curation of the different franchises. Some of them are like um, the franchise fees less than 100,000. Some of them are less than. There's like a division like franchises for less than 1 million, franchises for more than 1 million pesos. So there's always something for everyone. So for every budget. And if you're the type, however, who doesn't want to pay the franchise and you really want to start small, which is and there's nothing wrong with that, because you don't want to throw away your money, you just want to try with little capital. So I would, and you have a green thumb and you're a foreigner, or you're not Filipino, or if you're even if you're Filipino but you don't want big capital and you want to go into farming, what you can do is you can just rent land and you can plant on the land. So the nice thing about it is you don't have to pay, I mean, you don't have to buy the land. You can just rent it every year. And if that's the case, then the best thing that you can plant would be vegetables, because you can harvest vegetables within like a few months. So you can have several harvests in a year. And because you're just renting the place, if you have the people to do it, then you can rent like hectares, like several thousand square meters of land. It's really up to you. And then you can just make sure that you have a ready market, because if you have a ready market, then it's just a matter of finding the land, finding the people who can help you plant. And the good thing is you have resources in the Philippines where you can study how to plant, and you can um, attend formal seminars on agriculture. And there are like suppliers, commercial suppliers of seeds, so just like any other farming. And always just make sure that you have a ready market to absorb your produce, whether it's agriculture, whether it's livestock, whether it's poultry, because that's the number one thing. Even if you have the capital to start a business, if you don't have a ready market for it, then don't even start. And then the last but not the least, that I can suggest, aside from farming, I know, you will be surprised when it comes to renting land. It's just so cheap, because these people otherwise would not even do anything with the land. So the land is just there, it's idle, it's useless, it's worthless. So you can rent it for so cheap. And you're talking about hectares of land that's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 square meters that you can actually like rent in a year for so cheap. And there are like kinds of vegetables that you can grow and eat, and you can harvest it like 3-4 times a year. And if you got the price right and you harvest it like not on off season, then the ROI can be like really good in a year, because you're like harvesting 3 to 4 times a year. And there are like vegetables with low and minimal what do you call this, cost of input, including the seedling, including the fertilizer. So all you have to really do is wait. So you plant and you wait and you water, that's it. You plant, you wait, you water, maybe you put fertilizer once or twice a month. uh, and there are suppliers. You will find organic and non-organic fertilizers, and like GMO and non-GMO seeds. It's really up to you. You will always find suppliers of these seeds. So it's just a matter of you finding a market that's worth it to, to start producing and start farming. And so you cannot say that, oh no, I don't have land in Philippines. No, you don't have to have land in Philippines. You can actually just rent the land for so cheap. Okay, so that's one thing. And then another thing is what you can do is you can buy operational businesses which are being sold. There are several reasons with why businesses are being sold. It's not necessarily because they are not making money. Some of them are making like good money, but they have another opportunity that they want to pursue, and so they're selling their business. Another reason is maybe they're migrating overseas, and that's why they want to sell the business, or the owners are getting really old and none of the kids want to handle the business because maybe the kids are overseas, so they would just rather sell the business to somebody who's interested to run it. And these businesses are like operational, uh, turnkey. They're already operational, they're profitable. Well, I can say how profitable. You would have to, like, when you're buying the business, you would have to know how much cash flow they have. And I found this website. It's called linkbusiness.ph, and they have actually a very good listing of businesses which are for sale. So I think this has a better offering than the franchise, because with the franchise, even though there's a system in place, you still don't know if the location that you chose is gonna be profitable. But with this one, more or less, you would know what is the history of the business from the past few years, because you're gonna know what's their earnings, how much they're paying in taxes, how much they're declaring, uh, and they are already operational when you buy it. There's like the people, they're like the location, and all you have to really do is to pay, and you're gonna take over the business. So I just found it like 2 days ago, and I think this is better than franchising. um, it's called linkbusiness.ph, and when you go there, they put there the price, the profit, the sales, the location, and what's included. They have a non-disclosure agreement also, because for those people who are inquiring, and they are listing several businesses for sale. So some of these are also in a bargain, because maybe because of COVID. And for example, I will go through here. Like coffee business, they have pharmacy for sale. They have several gasoline stations for sale. Spring water business for sale. They have some multimedia companies, IT, BPO outsourcing business. So it's an operational BPO. Some of these are logistics business. There's some of these, several of these are hotels and resorts, which makes sense. Maybe because of COVID, they're selling it. Restaurants, and some beverage business, freight and trucking and forwarding business, salons. So these are some of the operational business which are being put up for sale. So when you go to this site, by the way, I'm not affiliated with them, but I'm just like really nice, because even before, I'm looking at like businesses for sale, and I haven't found a website as well presented as these guys. Or maybe they're already there before, but I haven't found them. But this one, it says the price, the profit, the sales revenue, the location, the industry, and the broker. So I'm not sure how much is the cut of the broker, but I think this is worth, compared to franchise, I think this is more or less a better approximate, because it's already running. But you've got also like great franchises that you can start yourself. For example, here it's Money Max. So I've gone through it, and it's like food franchise that you can start under 1 million pesos. And some of these brands and franchises I eat myself. So I'm the type of consumer who likes to eat but doesn't want to spend much, but want to eat good food. So I know some of these franchises. I've tasted them myself, and the one that's listed here by this website, it's called moneymax.ph. And it's a good website because they also offer like information on car insurance, credit cards, loans, etc. Some of these brands I personally eat myself, so it's good. And they put here the minimum initial investment, what's included in the package, the space requirement, and the contact numbers and the contact emails if you want to inquire directly. So basically, it's a curation of different food franchises. And in the Philippines, really one of the safe franchise would be food franchising because everybody wants to eat. It's like the center of the Filipino culture is around food. And we have so many special occasions, and when you see Filipinos, they take photos of with them with the food. So it's like, I know, and it's also so basic, right? And although there are other franchises that you can check yourself. When you go to Franchise Association of the Philippines, there are a complete list of franchises and contact numbers. It includes franchises of brands which are not just food. Like what I said, some of them could be gasoline station, car shops, repair shops. What else? Like retail and clothing brands. So pharmacy franchises. So it's like a mixed bag of everything. So to be on the safe side, I would suggest franchise the brands which you use yourself and you see visibly in your community or in the nearby community, which means they really are worth the franchise fee and the trust is there. So these are like my tips on starting a business in the Philippines. Again, there's always a good budget for everyone, and don't be afraid to start small because the nice thing about starting small, it doesn't have to be like any big business. The nice thing about starting small is, you know your downside, you control your downside, and you limit like the people that you involve in the business, so you don't have to spend for salary and things like that. So start small and try to scale it, because you can always scale a business by getting a different location. If this works in this location, you can always find another location, and you can find a way to make the business versatile. For example, you can put it in a cart like food kiosk, food carts, and have it go around different subdivisions or different towns. And that's how you scale a business. So it's really just about finding the people that you can trust, finding the market where there are lots of buyers, lots of market that you can just sell to, and be good with handling the risk of starting a business, minimizing the risk early on, working in the business yourself until you know that you're pretty profitable. So most of these are like common sense, and I know you know more than me. So um, with regards to getting permits, like what I said, if you're just starting small, you just have to get a barangay business permit. That's it. And then later on, when it's already running, you can think about getting the permit from the city hall, the permit from DTI. By the way, not all businesses require a DTI permit. So for but eventually you might need it, especially when you're trying to get a loan. But the most basic ones that you will need are like the barangay business permit and city business permit, and you will get the BIR, BIR is Bureau of Internal Revenue, for your business tax number. And then you don't really have to register with DTI unless you need to. DTI is the Department of Trade and Industry. But not all businesses would really require that. The thing that you would eventually really require is just the barangay business permit and the city hall or business permit. That's it. So you can get your tax number. And here in the Philippines, you would notice that a lot of things are not digital. So you really cannot get an accurate sales number. So having said that, I don't want to make any comment But I said that so you know, and you can extrapolate the meaning from what I just said. That's it for now. I hope you enjoy this vlog. I hope you learned something new. And I will be putting the links down below. So if you have questions, feel free to ask me. You have a great day. I love you, everyone, and have an awesome week.